Hello and welcome to BeamNG Drive. I'm davidinark, and today I'm going to cover how to take a pre-existing template map and show you how to start your own map with it. Now, a couple of things that you're going to need in order to get started. You're going to have HighDef's map template file. There's a link for it down in the description. Just also want to remind you, in case you're not sure, but the BeamNG Drive mods have moved out of the My Documents folder and now is generally in the users, whatever your username is, app data, local, BeamNG Drive, and then whatever version number, and then mods. Long way to go. All right, so that, and then also you would want to install something that allows you to edit multiple files at a time, and preferably something that allows you to search through multiple files in order to make changes. I wholeheartedly recommend Notepad++. It is very easy to use and it is free, which is even better. So with that, what you're going to do is when you grab a copy of HighDef's map template file, it downloads as fresh_my_map.zip. All right, so you want to make sure that you put that into your mods folder. Then you're going to launch BeamNG Drive, click on Repository, click on Mods Manager, then go to the Loaded Template Map. You're going to click on that one time to select it, and then you're going to choose Unpack. Now, that could take a little bit when it gets unpacked, but when it's done, then you're going to immediately quit BeamNG Drive. So all we're doing is unpacking this, quitting, and we're going to go back to the mods folder, and now you're going to see that there is an unpacked folder and the zip file is no longer there. Not a problem. All right, you're going to double click the unpacked folder, right click on the fresh_my_map folder and choose rename. Now here you're going to enter in whatever you want to call your new map name. Don't use spaces here, use underscores instead of spaces. Once you get that renamed, you're going to double click your newly renamed folder, double click the levels folder, right click the fresh folder and choose rename. All right, so here you're going to enter the name of your map again. I suggest you use the same name. Again, use underscores as spaces. Once you've got it renamed, double click the renamed folder. All right, so that gets you in there. All right, so now we're going to move over and launch Notepad++. Once Notepad++ is launched, then you will click Search, then go to Find in Files. In the Find What box, you're going to type Fresh. Now, I'm doing all caps, but you don't have to do all caps. In the Replace With, you're going to type your map name. Use the actual map name that you just did for the other two files with the underscores and whatever else. Now, on the right side of the directory line, you want to click the three dots. And here you want to navigate to your unpacked map folder. Okay, there you go. You should see two folders, a levels folder and a mod_info folder. You want to click on Select Folder down in the window. You want to make sure that the In All Subfolders is checked. And then you want to click Replace in Files on the right-hand side. You'll get a warning. That's okay. You click OK. You can't undo this once you do it. So once you click OK, then Notepad++ is going to go through all of the files and make the changes that we're looking for. When it's finished, at the bottom of Notepad++, it should, wait, did I say too many pluses? I don't know. Anyway, at the bottom of Notepad++, it should report 1,898 occurrences were replaced. So now we're going to go back to Find What, change Fresh to read _my_map, then in the replace with, you want to delete anything that's there. It should now be empty. And you want to click replace in files and click OK. At the bottom of Notepad++, it should show that there were 5 occurrences that were replaced. All right, at this point, you can close the Find in Files dialog box. And now we're going to go to File, Open. And we're going to navigate to the Unpacked Your Map Levels Your Map folder. I know it gets a little confusing, but just come along with me for the ride, all right? All right, you're going to double-click the info.json file. When you double-click on that, there are some things in here that you can change to make this your own. So where it says level name, change that to a readable map name. And this one you can actually use spaces. This is what you want to show up when someone sees your map in free roaming, all right? Then in the description for the level, you want to change it to something, descriptive, whatever. And then at the bottom where it says that the author is you, you want to change that to your own name, your own username, whatever you want to do there. And then you're going to save the file. A couple of ways. You can do file save, or you can click on the little save icon. Anyway, save it and exit Notepad++. Now, in your maps folder, you want to do the following. You want to right click on the file that's called fresh_my_map.ter.depth.png. Now you may or may not see the .png at the end, but what you want to do is you want to right click on that, then click rename. Then you want to hit the home key on your keyboard to move that cursor all the way to the left. And you're going to replace the fresh_my_map with your own map name. Leave everything else in there. So for example, davidinark_test, then it's going to have still the .ter.depth.png. Okay, once you change that, you're going to right click the fresh_my_map_preview.jpg file, click rename. And again, we're going to take out the fresh my map part of that and put your map name in there. Now, when you do this, the preview here is just the white place card. So that's what we're going to be looking for when we get back into BeamNG. All right, so you've got those replaced. You're going to launch BeamNG Drive. Click on play, click on free roam, and now you see the little white placard there, and you want to double click your map name. All right. So when you double click that, then you're going to click on spawn, and that will get you into your map. Now, once your map is loaded, you want to press Shift-C. That'll switch you into FreeCam. And then I recommend that you hit J to pause the physics. And then you're going to press F11, and that is going to open the world editor. Now, there's all kinds of stuff in here. And right now, don't really worry about that. But you've got all kinds of icons here. You got the menus, all that kind of stuff. What we're going to be doing is we're going to click on the window menu. Go to Asset Browser. Then you're going to see your folder for your map. You're going to click on that. And then over on the right-hand side, double-click Art, double-click Shapes, double-click Buildings. Now, you're going to look for items that have the name ECA_BLD_ the name of something. For example, ECA_BLD_creepyhouse1. All right. Now, one thing to notice is that structures, buildings or physical objects, for lack of a better word, they all have a little cube-like icon. So that's how you know that these are an object you can place in the game. All right, you're going to double click that object to place it in the game. Now, once it is put in the game, then you can use translate, rotate, and scale tools to move and scale the object. So we're going to play around with that. You can scale things down, you can rotate them, all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so you get it to where you want it placed. Likewise, you can set them down into the ground level. we can pop back in and go find a different object. And for example, if I choose this house here, you'll notice a lot of objects in BeamNG have a nice thick foundation, for lack of a better word, and that allows you to play with that height, get that building set just the way you want. Gives you plenty of space to work on setting it. And then you can also use things like terrain editor to raise and lower terrain in and around your buildings or structures, those types of things. All right. You can use mesh roads, and those are solid structured roads, for lack of a better description. You can use decal roads, which essentially paint a road directly onto the terrain. So a lot of times that's like for dirt roads. You can do that. And you also have the river editor, which when we get to the end of this, I'll have a little kind of a bonus thing to show you how to do rivers, because it's a little funky, but it's not hard. Well, it is, but it's not. Anyway, we'll take a look at that. Okay, so after you have made some changes to your level, you want to be sure to click File, Save Level. You'll see at the top it says Save Level. And then you want to press F11 to exit the editor. Now, we're going to return to the main menu, and we're going to quit BeamNG Drive. Once you get out of this, you want to go back to your user folder, right? So that's the BeamNG Drive / current version. So in our case, 0.23 folder. We're going to double click the levels folder, and then we're going to right click the map folder. So remember, we are in BeamNG Drive / 0.23, and in there is a levels folder. I know we saw a levels folder before in the mods. We're not quite there yet. So inside here, you're going to double click this levels folder, right click on your map folder and choose cut. Now here, you're going to go back to the version folder, and inside there, click mods. So in this case, as we're recording 0.23, double click that folder and go into mods. There, you're going to double click the unpacked folder, double click the map folder, double click the levels folder. Okay. Now here, you're going to right click in an empty space and choose paste. And you're going to get bugged for all kinds of stuff, and that's okay. When you're asked to replace files, you say yes, check the box for do it for everybody, click yes, click replace all, let it do its thing. All right, once that is done, you've essentially taken those changes that you've made and you've put them into the actual mod development folder, the unpacked mod folder. So what we need to do is go back into BeamNG Drive, go to repository, go to mods manager, click your map, choose pack, and BeamNG is going to take all of the things that we've done, pack them back up into a zip file that is basically ready for you to use however you want to. All right, so once that gets done, and it could take a while depending on how fast your computer is and how many changes you've made, what different assets you've included, all that kind of stuff. Once it's done, then you want to exit BeamNG Drive. And you want to go back into your mods folder where now you see you have your zip file. You want to take that zip file, right click on it, copy it, and then go to a different folder somewhere, maybe on your desktop, and you want to right click and paste it there just so you have a backup of this file. So once you've done with that, then we can go back into BeamNG Drive, choose free roam, click on your map, and make sure your stuff is still there. So there you go. That's it. Lather, rinse, repeat. At this point, you just go in, move stuff around, play with stuff, go from there. All right. So now what we want to do is I want to talk about how you make your thumbnail, your preview picture for so that you don't have that white template file. All right. So when you're back in your free roam, then you want to free cam. So Shift C. and you want to move that camera around where you want to. And basically you use the mouse and your WASD keys, or if you got a controller, you want to get your mouse close to where you want to position it. Hit escape or whatever it takes to bring up your radial menu, and you want to click on the camera icon. Again, you may have to reposition your camera a little bit. That's all right. Then you're going to click the camera at the top and take a picture. Once you've got that picture taken, then I would recommend you go to the icon over at the top that says open the screenshots folder. Click on that. That will open up the file where your screenshot is located. You want to right click on that file and choose rename. Now for here, you want to put in your map name. So davidinark _test, but you want to also leave the underscore preview. So underscore preview. All right. Once you do that, then you want to go back into BeamNG. It should be down in the taskbar. Go back to the main menu, go to the repository, mods manager, click your map, unpack it. Once it's unpacked, exit BeamNG. Now when you exit BeamNG, hopefully you're already at the screenshots folder, but if you're not, screenshots are in the BeamNG Drive /version number /screenshots folder. So you can find it that way. You want to right click on the image in that location and choose copy. Then go back to your mods folder. And in the mods folder, you want to double click unpacked, double click your map folder, double click your levels folder, double click your map folder again. And then you want to delete the existing file that says the preview on there. Right? So you want to delete the preview file. Then you're going to right click in an empty space and you're going to paste your preview file in there. Now, one thing you have to do is you have to change the extension to .jpg. I'm not going to get into how to do that, but you'll have to change the end of it because by default, your screenshot is a PNG, but previews in BeamNG want JPEG, so you have to make sure it's a JPEG. Once you've done that, you're going to launch BeamNG Drive, click on repository, go back to mods manager, click on your map, and click on pack. Once it is packed up, and again, this could take a while. Once it's packed up, go back to the main menu, choose play, free roam, and now you should see your screenshot as the preview image for your map. All right, as promised, I'm going to cover how to do rivers because rivers are a little weird. From my experience, the best way to do a river is to actually lay down a mesh road first. So in order to do that, you're going to click on mesh roads, and then you have to hold the Alt key and then click the left mouse button while you're still holding the Alt key, and then let go of the mouse button, but still hold the Alt key. And then as you move your mouse, you'll see the mesh road kind of stretches away from you. And so you're going to click every time you want to drop a node. So you want to go a little bit and click, and maybe turn a little bit and click, and turn a little bit more and click, and stretch out and click. So you're basically building this mesh road that we're going to be using as kind of the bed for the river. All right. So once you have that laid out, then the next thing you want to do is go up to the terrain editor, and you're going to click on the icon that says subtract mesh. Okay. And so what that's going to do now, what we're going to do is we're going to paint over this mesh road that is in place. And so I'm going to just scrub back and forth and up and down and all around. Wherever that road is that I laid in place, I'm going to delete out or lower basically the ground underneath that road. So once I've got that whole thing covered, I'm going to come over to the left-hand side, and you'll notice that it says, new mesh road. I can click on the little eye icon, the little eyeball there, and if I click on that, it hides that. And so now you see I have like a trench here, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. That's my riverbed. All right. So what I'm going to do now is go up to the river editor tool, and it works just like a mesh road tool. in that I just come down, I click my mouse where I want to start, and you don't have to worry about it being exact to start with because we can move the points once we have things laid out. So what you want to do is you're going to, again, hold the Alt button down. While you're holding Alt, you tap the left mouse button and then keep holding Alt and drag your mouse forward and click and around and click and just kind of follow the same path that your mesh road took. And that will lay out the start of your river, or the initial layout for your river. Then what you can do is once you're done, just click off anywhere in the ground, just click away. And then what you can do is you can go back to the river and click on the river itself, and you'll see that the nodes light up. And at that point, you can click on a node and you can use the up, down, you can use the up and down, and then X and Y, I guess I should say the X, Y, and Z translate tool to move those nodes or stretch them out or whatever you need to do in order to get your river positioned how you want to. So you're going to want to do things like, you don't want the water above the ground level. You want it, maybe as close to ground level as you can, maybe a little lower. Of course, it's up to you. It depends on how deep you want that riverbank to be. But basically, you go in here, you edit that. Then you can also use the terrain smoothing tool. I recommend a small circle and a very light touch, and you can smooth out those kind of jagged edges along the riverbank curve, along the riverbank rather. Of course, you can also do things like you could place rocks, you can place trees, you can do all kinds of stuff to decorate up around your river. But I just wanted to include how to do rivers because it's kind of multi-step, and I'm sure there are a gazillion different ways to do rivers. This is just the way that HighDef taught me many moons ago, and it's the one that I remember. So hopefully that helps you as well. All right, so there you go. That is map making like 101, taking HighDef's pre-configured map that has the assets from East Coast USA in there and gives you a starting point. It gives you the basics of starting a map, and then you go in there and edit this. Feel free to, of course, pause, rewind, rewatch this as many times as you have to in order to kind of get the gist of it. By the way, I'm actually going to have a text document linked in the description below with all of these steps. So if you're old school like me and you want to print one out, you can print it out and kind of follow along as you do things. Just be careful, it gets really deep and really confusing very quickly. But anyhow, hopefully all this helps you get going to start playing around with making maps. Got any questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to leave those down in the comments section below. Special thanks to Hero of God, GamerGull, and LosWilko for supporting me on Patreon. And thank you so much, as always, for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time in BeamNG Drive. Have a great day.